Hi, welcome. This is a game of Armchair Bingo. It was created for my friends in Williamsport who've been obligated to stay at home. It's intended for an older audience, but anyone can play. Create your own bingo card by making 5 columns and 5 rows. The space in the middle is usually designated as the free space. So let's all put chair there and check it off as our first item. If you're playing this with children, you could do it as a scavenger hunt, in which case you won't want to share this list. Here are the 70 items I'll be calling from. You can pause the video while you fill in your bingo card. I'll still be here when you're done. When you get a bingo, shout it out so the people down the hall will wonder what you're doing. I've divided this into 2 rounds, giving 35 items in each round. So this is round 1. Everybody ready? Here we go. The first item is family picture. This really needs no explanation. I have an entire wall of them. We refer to it as our Hall of Fame. The next item is a teddy bear. Teddy bears developed apparently simultaneously by toy makers Morris Mitchum in the U.S. and Richard Steiff in Germany in the early years of the 20th century and are named after President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt. The next item, closet. Closets are where we stash all that stuff we don't know where to put that our kids use to stock their yard sales. And occasionally we hang our coats there. Next up, change. Coins in the U.S. were first minted in 1792. There are 4 mints producing coins in the U.S. Each has their own mint mark, usually near the date. Philadelphia uses a P, Denver a D, and those are the 2 that produce circulating coins. San Francisco uses an S, and West Point a W. Change. The next item is a TV remote. In electronics, a remote control is an electronic device used to operate another device from a distance. I define it as that thing used to turn on the TV that regularly takes vacations to unknown locations and when the wrong button is pushed, requires a grandchild of age 5 to 15 to reset. The next item on our list is Kleenex. Kleenex is a trademark brand name, although we use it for most facial tissues, which were first introduced in the U.S. in 1924 as a disposable face cream removing cloth. By the 1930s, it was being marketed with the slogan, "Don't carry a cold in your pocket, Kleenex." Next is spoon. Spoons are generally used for eating, soups especially. My Grandma Scott collected spoons when she traveled the world in the 1950s and 60s. I often helped her polish them when I went to visit, and so I inherited her collection. Looks like they're ready for a polish now. Spoon. Next up is scissors. This tool is referred to by the singular phrase, a pair of scissors. There is never one scissor, always scissors, perhaps because there are 2 blades. Scissors. Next is pencil. Over 14 billion pencils are manufactured worldwide annually. In the mid-1950s, a large deposit of graphite was discovered in England. This deposit was extremely pure and solid and was sawn into sticks for the earliest pencils. In 1858, Hyman Lipman received the first patent for attaching an eraser to the end of a pencil. He should have made it bigger. Pencil. Next up is a deck of cards. Cards have been around for a long time, and it seems there are different house rules for every game. According to the internet, there are more than 1,000 different versions of solitaire you can play. Deck of cards. Next up is a coaster. You know, that thing you're supposed to put under your glass or mug to prevent it from leaving a ring on your furniture? Coaster. Next is game. A game is a structured form of play. We've started a weekly version of any game via conference call with our family in Maryland, Virginia, and Idaho. Everyone's home, so it's much easier to schedule. Game. Next is a gel pen. A gel pen uses ink in which pigment is suspended in a water-based gel. Because the ink is thick and opaque, it shows up more clearly on dark or slick surfaces than the typical inks used in ballpoint or felt tip pens. Gel pen. And next we have water bottle. It takes 1,500 2-liter bottles to create a 6 by 8 foot greenhouse. And in the United States, every 5 minutes we use 2 million plastic bottles. How many greenhouses is that? Water bottle. Next is afghan. An afghan is a woolly blanket or shawl, usually knitted or crocheted. This one was made by my grandmother. She kept it on her bed. Now we use it on our guest bed. Come visit sometime. And next is pillow. The earliest recorded use of the modern human device dates back to the civilizations of Mesopotamia around 7000 BC. During this time, only the wealthy used pillows. The number of pillows symbolized status, so the more pillows one owned, the more affluence they held. Besides for comfort, the pillow was used for keeping bugs and insects out of people's hair, mouth, nose, and ears while sleeping. Pillow. Next is letter. You know, comes in snail mail. The best ones are handwritten by our friends and family. Or maybe you get that kind that asks for money, or that tells you about your electric bill or phone bill. Or it could be a random A or Q or L letter. Next is slippers. Slippers are light footwear that are easy to put on and off and are intended to be worn indoors, particularly at home. Attention, Walmart shoppers! Slippers are for home. Slippers. Next is rubber band. The world's largest rubber band ball, as of November 2008, was created by Joel Wall of Lauderhill, Florida. The ball, which previously sat under a tarp in his driveway, weighs 9,032 pounds, is more than 6 feet 7 inches tall, and consists of more than 700,000 rubber bands. The ball is now owned by Ripley's Believe It or Not. Rubber band. Next is straw. In the 1800s, ryegrass straw came into fashion because it was cheap and soft, but it had an unfortunate tendency to turn to mush when put in liquid. American Marvin Stone patented the modern paper straw in 1888. He had the idea while drinking a mint julep in Washington, D.C. Straw. Next is receipt. Maybe someone brought you medicine from the pharmacy or snacks from the grocery and left your receipt. With all this contactless delivery, now you might even get it electronically instead. Receipt. Tea bag. Did you know that soil scientists use standardized tea bags to measure the decomposition rate of organic materials in different soils? Oh, now I think I need a cup of tea. Hit the pause button if you do. If you do too, and I'll be here when you get back. Next is heating pad. A heating pad is used to help warm parts of the body in order to manage pain. Just don't fall asleep on one, or you'll be managing a different pain all on your own. The voice of experience. Heating pad. Next is candy. Because each culture varies in how it treats some foods, a food may be a candy in one place and a dessert in another. For example, in Western countries, baklava is served on a plate and eaten with a fork as a dessert. But in the Middle East, Northern Africa, and Eastern Europe, it is treated as a candy. What's your favorite? Table. Could be a piece of furniture, could be an arrangement of data with rows and columns, kind of like a bingo card, could be a landform, or it could be a parliamentary procedure. Table. Next is rug. A rug can be a carpet or floor covering. It's also slang for a toupee. Which kind of rug do you have? Rug. Next is purse or wallet. Today, more often used to carry currency in the form of plastic. These were originally intended for coins. Purse or wallet. Next is puzzle. The largest commercially available jigsaw puzzle has 52,110 pieces and was created by a Czech company called Martin Puzzle. It was created in 2018 and features a collage of animals. Anybody get bingo yet? Next is comb. I know we generally use these on our hair, but did you know a comb is also a lamellophone, a comb with teeth of unequal length capable of producing different notes when picked, eventually evolved into the thumb piano and music box. Never did figure out why they were called teeth. Comb. Next is socks. Did you know that Martinsburg, West Virginia was once home to a large sock manufacturing plant? Interwoven Mills had its start in 1890 and 91 as Middlesex Knitting Company, then became Kilbourne Knitting Mill, and later Interwoven Hosiery. Socks. Next up, bookmark. Anything used to mark your place when reading. A scrap of paper, fold over the page, except that's a no-no for library books, or elaborately decorated doodad. Bookmark. Next up is nail file. Nail files can be emery boards, ceramic, glass, crystal, plain metal, or metal coated with corundum. Baseball pitchers and cricket bowlers have been known to use emery boards to scuff the outside of the ball, making it more susceptible to spin and movement. Classified as cheating, of course. Next is book. Google has estimated that as of 2010, approximately 130 million distinct titles had been published. There are at least 6 other classification systems for books besides the Dewey Decimal classification we use in our libraries. Next is rocking chair. Rocking chairs are what we are supposed to be relegated to when we retire. And Cracker Barrel has helped that image by providing a long, comfortable porch filled with such things. My grandchildren and I happen to like rocking chairs. And our last clue for round 1 is door. According to the National Safety Council, in the U.S., 300,000 injuries are caused by doors every year. Thanks for playing along. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll have round 2 out in a couple more days. Bye.